And hey, hello. Welcome everybody. We're live. Hi. It's been a minute and a lot happened. Some cool stuff, but you know, just mostly a lot of the usual. But today, I'm hoping to actually finish a game today. Don't know how long it may take. I'm hoping it won't be too long because unfortunately I do have to go into work a little earlier, but nonetheless, I do hope to finish Chronicles of the Wolf today. So, last we left off on this game, if I remember correctly, we had unlocked the final map, which is a whole other castle in and of itself because we did a whole thing of getting an accessory to equip. No, it wasn't an accessory. It was we equipped a bunch of stuff, and then we got an item, and then we went to the final boss, and then we went to... Well, it wasn't the final boss. It was the boss that could have been final that led to a different ending. So then we got told of the real final boss, and then we followed over, we killed a couple werewolves, and then we went to the real final area, which is a lot larger than I thought it would be. So, yeah, I figured, like, yeah, the finale's gonna be an entire stream itself, so... Yeah, with that said, let's get started. So yeah, we were right here, and I think I died, and I just got sent all the way to the start, so it'd be best that I just, you know, change out on that. I also changed my controls, because I've had a lot of instances of, accidentally using my, my ghost abilities when what I really want is to use a special, so I changed those around to something I'm more comfortable with. And I'm still using the Death Axe because despite getting the Rose Knight stuff, I somehow still have a really powerful weapon with this. That's really a sad thing sometimes with some games, is that you can make all the cool looking equipment you want, but if the stats are just not going to measure up to what you've got right now, then you're going to be fairly mono weapon for the most part. But yeah, the day's just kind of been fine. I spent Saturday actually doing something that I really wanted to do, that being Free Comic Book Day. If you don't know what that is, Free Comic Book Day is a once a year, I believe, thing that is the first Saturday of May. And what it implies, or what the deal is that comic publishers and creators will create a very specific issue of a comic line that they're doing, and they'll send it out to comic book stores, either local or larger, whichever the two, and people can just go and get some free comic books. And in my case, the local comic shop that I wanted to go to, or that's at least near me within, fun enough, walking distance, which is wonderful. I love having a walking distance comic book store. That's one of the best things ever. I went to the store. This was my first time really going to a Free Comic Book Day event. So they gave me the lowdown on how it works. I'm like, okay, cool. And I ended up finding two free comic book issues that I wanted to get. One was a Mega Man comic that I knew a friend of mine would really like because it features Bass, and Bass is one of her favorite characters, like, ever. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go get that for her because she loved that. And let's see, the other thing I got was, it was for a first issue of a comic called The Nice House by the Sea. And apparently that's a sequel to The Nice House by the Lake. I don't know what that is. I'm going to assume it might be a horror thing because it looks very horror-coded. Let's see. And that was pretty much it for the free section, because everything else in the store wasn't part of the Free Comic Book Day thing, because I imagine if it was free, they'd run out. Hey, Combo, I'm talking about Free Comic Book Day, since that was yesterday at the time of me streaming this. We're just going through the final area here whilst I kind of talk about the weekend and other things. So, what I ended up finding also at the store was that the store was having a store-wide sale. Hunter D was pretty good. Oh, yeah. So, Combo watched Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust for the first time. And I'm glad you like it, because I have that on Blu-ray, and it's a really, really, really fucking cool, weird mixture of gothic fantasy and sci-fi post-apocalypse. Oh, hello.
Hello, young man. You may call me Udar. My memory fails me, but your uniform is familiar to me. You must excuse me, as I have just awoken from a deep slumber, which has left me with a lingering dizzy spell. In fact, I can't say that I remember how long I've been here and just what I came to do. I need time to gather my thoughts, but before you go, take this weapon. I get the sense that you will need it more than I. May good fortunes follow you.
I took one too many melatonins, and I took a really big nap. And now I'm in that weird sort of post-groggy state where you kind of taste a little bit of metal, and when you're really groggy, and then you wake up and your hair is like stuck to one side of your face. Jesus, that is a massive jump in attack. But yeah, Vampire Hunter D, great. I'm really glad you like it, because I love Vampire Hunter D as well. I have the Blu-ray of Bloodlust, and I also have 2 omnibuses of the light novel, since, you know, for those that don't know, Vampire Hunter D was a light novel from the 90s or 80s, I think. Like, one of the major appeals of it was that the artist for the light novels was Yoshitaka Amano, who, you know, did a lot of the promo artwork for Final Fantasy up until, like, when did Amano stop doing promotional art for Final Fantasy dedicatedly? Was that, like, around the time of 7, or was that later? Because, like, he obviously still does promotional artworks for Final Fantasies. You'll see that with, like, 14. But I know that he isn't, like, the dedicated promotional artist anymore. That's left up to other artists. D's one-shots everything. I saw a comparison between him stomping Helsing Alucard and... that would be really cool to see. I would love to see his interactions with Castlevania Alucard. There was an artist I saw... I think it was on Blue Sky, or... No, it was Twitter, back when I was on there. There was an artist on Twitter that was drawing kind of like a crossover of Castlevania and Vampire Hunter D, where Alucard and D were hanging out and just kind of hanging together, and I'm like, if Konami ever got it in their heads to do some kind of crossover thing, or if they got one of their developer partners to make a Vampire Hunter D Metroidvania, oh, that would cure my soul. Because it's proven that if done well, a anime-based Metroidvania could do really well. I mean, look at that Record of Lotus War Metroidvania. I think that would be a really cool formula. Honestly, I'd love that for Slayers, too. So, yeah. And it was actually through the comic book shop I went to that I found Vampire Hunter D. But related to that, the comic book store that I was at, that was doing the whole comic book day sale, they had a light novel section. They started separating light novels and manga from everything else, which is really cool because they do get a lot of manga in, as well as other collectibles and tabletop RPGs and board games. They have a huge-ass amount of Warhammer stuff. Their basement has a massive amount of issues of comics that you can look through. Honestly, going in there, you'd have to go in with a team to tackle everything to make sure that you find something you like. I just kind of searched through and found what I could. So they had kind of like a weird clearance type of deal alongside the free comic books, because how it was laid out was there was this side room where the free comic issues were, but then there were these tables that had boxes on top of them where you rifled through them, and those in particular were issues of comics that were on sale. So I got 3 issues of a comic called Siren of the Streets, I believe it is. from Image Comics, and they had Marvel and DC and all that, but I'm gravitating a tad more towards Image because it feels like they are willing to give newer names of heroes and stories a go. Not that DC and Marvel don't have those, but their fallbacks on their mainstay superheroes are part of why I kind of gravitate away from them for comics. So Siren of the Streets, I got 3 issues of that, and that was like $2.25 for 3 issues. Not bad at all. And then after I got those, I searched around for a while to be like, okay, what else can I get? Because if it's 25% off everything in the store, I could really get some things that I've been meaning to try for a while. And one of the things that I found was that they got a core rulebook for a tabletop RPG that I saw years ago that I finally have on my shelf that I can probably try to talk to my table about maybe running a game. So it's a game called Ryutama, and the way that the system works in that is that it's far more scenario planning based as opposed to crafting your own campaign. Because the premise of Ryutama is that you and your party are essentially the NPCs as classes as you adventure around. So the classes you can play are Hunter, Noble, Artisan, Healer, Farmer, and Minstrel. I think it's those 6. And then the GM has a character that they make, which is a dragon-kind character that is supposed to act as a guide for the party, but also as a indicator as to what type of story you're going to be going through. So, like, there's one type that's better for exploration, one type that's more for combat, one that's more for dynamics between the characters, and one that's supposed to be more explores the characters' backstories. So that aspect alone is really cool. Like, not having your typical fighter, cleric, ranger, and so forth. Like, they are genuinely just the NPCs, just travel. And the system itself I'd have to read up more on, but it looks interesting, and I remember seeing it when I was with my dad in Sweden at a comic store there, and I just thought, oh, that looks cool, but I didn't get it at the time, but I have it now, so someday. And then the other thing that I got was I got a Figma. I got my first ever Figma of Pixie from the Shin Megami Tensei series, because very rarely do you ever get stuff like Shin Megami Tensei merch. So I just went ahead and got Pixie. So she is now sitting on my shelf next to, I think, my panty and stocking acrylics I got a while ago. Yeah, she's next to the 3D printed Pooh figure that I got at a con, and the acrylic panty and stocking and scanty and knee socks figures I have. So yeah, I did that. Following that, I had my tabletop session with my group. I forgot to bring the core rulebook because we wanted to get through our story today. And I tell you, the session we had was a fucking nightmare. But I'll let you know about... Oh, God! I'll tell you more after I fight this guy. Ow. Shithead. Yeah, I'm never really gonna go past the complaints on the bosses being a bit simple to fight. Oh, good lord. That is the sad thing about these more RPG-style Metroidvanias. They are just unfortunately easy after a certain point. like, tragically easy. Okay, so the session we ended up having at our Pathfinder game. Did not mean to do that. So the story arc that we're currently on with our Pathfinder game is that we're trying to figure out the source of a disease and figuring out how to cure it. And as we're going about trying to find this cure, somebody who is a member of a faction of were-rats in the city has asked us to try and dissuade her were-rat friends from trying to cause an uprising. So, you know, just try to... The sacred dagger can pierce the stone master. Okay, so I probably need to make the dagger with the boss enemies. Okay. What was I on about? Okay, the were-rats. So, were-rats, they're in the city, and they are not happy with, you know, upworlders, as they called them. So we're like, okay, well, who's the leader? Do you want us to fight them? Or if we fight them, do you want us to try and spare them if we can? Like, that whole situation. We go through the sewers, and by some very bizarre circumstance, we don't end up with any random encounters, because that's just our table's bizarro luck, where we just end up with barely any random encounters, and all really important boss fights. We then make it to where the were-rats are located at, and I managed to actually intimidate all but the boss, because my character is a half-orc war priest who has a very high intimidation. So I just kind of bellowed to the room that, hey, we're the party that took down the King of Spiders and brought the head of Gadrin Lamb to justice. Unless you want to join him, run, and either stand down or join them, like something to that effect. You know, I was just trying to intimidate them to get them to drop their weapons. They all ran, except for the boss. And I'm just gonna do this. Boom. So the boss fights us, and we proceed to have one of the longest, most drawn-out combats that I've ever experienced at the table. It was horrible. The fucker had really high DCs on his save, and the DM was rolling really well. And he was having trouble hitting us because one of our players had cast this spell that caused mist to surround the area for up to about 60 or so feet. And with that, he essentially had a 20% miss chance on us. So miss chances, how they work is that whenever you hit the AC to hit an enemy in this fight, the GM would have to roll a die 100, and if it was below 20, no, if it was above 20%, you hit, but if it was below 20%, you missed. The amount of fucking times that I missed this guy was ludicrous. Like, he kept, and to make sure, he was rolling it in front of the table, clearly visible to everybody, but some reason we were just having really shit luck. We just had shit luck on hitting this guy. So that was unfun. Or actually, no, he had shit luck on hitting us, but the reason why we had shit luck hitting him wasn't because of the mist. We actually got a spell cast on us that let us see through the mist. The shit luck was because this boss enemy had taken a potion of blur. And blur is a spell that makes you have a 20% chance of not being hit by your enemies. And we somehow kept hitting that below 20% threshold a lot. But the problem is he also had a high AC by default anyway. So it was like, when we did hit, there was a chance that we missed anyway, even though it was just a whole thing. So we go through this fight. Miss, hit, miss, hit, miss, hit, miss, and any efforts that we had put through to try and restrict this guy to get his AC to fucking drop were just not working. And meanwhile, I'm trying to hit for non-lethal damage because we were requested by the NPC to try and not kill him, because we wanted to have a peaceful enough resolution to things. Didn't end up happening because I and the human fighter of the party landed critical hits, and then we took him down below the threshold of non-lethal damage, which meant that he died. So, fair to say, I was just glad the fight was fucking over because, oh my god, like, we straight up spent 2 or so hours of our goddamn time fighting this guy. Like, and I'd spent so long trying to make sure that we didn't kill him, but nope, didn't end up happening. So, Jesus, this thing is really tanky. There we go. What is this thing? Divine armor? What is this? The best armor ever made that recovers your HP. Wow. Okay. It was worth it coming down here. Fuck yeah. So yeah, that was a whole goddamn ordeal of just missing and us putting a imposed restriction on us because we just wanted to get this done peacefully. But the other thing is, I tried to get the guy to stop by some level of intimidation or persuasion because I was like, hey, we were sent here by one of your people, please stand down, and he was just not listening to me. So after a certain point, I stopped giving. Like, when I managed to land one non-lethal hit, I was like, I don't give a fuck anymore. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then oh well. Like, we'll just explain that we couldn't do it because he just was not hearing us out. Oh, it was here that I died before. Okay, well in that case, I'm gonna hold off on that. We already killed one of the bosses. And it's like 2 bosses in just that room, so I'm gonna hold off on that. If I could find a teleport room, that would be wonderful, because I would love to get some more potions. After that fight, we kind of had a little thought on the table being like, we really should, like, take some time in the sewers to probably get some experience, so that we can at least get up to level 6, because all of us at present are level 5. So we're pretty certain that, yeah, we need, things are only going to get harder from here on, so we need to level up pronto. On the plus side, I think we are close to level 6. It's just, it takes a bit to get this kind of thing done. Like, leveling up is not as easy as it is in something like Vampire Survivors, rather, which actually came out recently, and yes, I do want to try and play that more, because that game, when I played the demo of it for a demo day back in April, was addictive. Holy shit, that game is going to be fun to play. I'm just kind of thinking about making that game kind of a non-recorded, kind of chill, hangout type of stream. I just don't know when I would do that, though, because at present, with my job, I can only really stream on the weekends. That's not to say I'm not making changes, though, because I have applied to a couple places that could potentially get back to me, which means that I could actually stream more during the week, which would be awesome. Besides that, so yeah, Vampire Crawlers, rather, not Survivors. That, I'm keeping my eye on that one. So, we kind of ended the session on the Pathfinder game just agreeing that we need to go into the sewers at some point, and we were thinking like, oh, what kind of reason do we give to, go into the sewers as a, aside from everything that's going on. And we remembered, hey, there's a cult of a disease-spreading goddess that's going around. Why don't we try to go into the sewers claiming that we're searching for any kind of hideouts? So that's the plan. Oh, thank fucking Christ, the save room. Also, the ad break is starting soon. I don't know why it's not sharing that with me. Why is Saribot not sharing the ad timer? Why did Twitch not share the ad timer? That's bizarre. Ad break will probably start in about... Oh, thank God. Start in about 5 or 4 minutes or so. It'll tell me when it's ready. Okay, so we're here again, so let's get potions. But yeah, when we have the time to, I definitely want to share Ryutama with my table to see if they'd be interested. The other tabletop game that I saw at the comic book store is one that has me a bit intrigued, but after researching into it, I have kind of thought twice on the idea. So, if y'all don't know, I really love The Witcher, and, you know, there was a Witcher tabletop game that is around now. You can play it, but that kind of got me thinking, like, okay, but what is a session of that game actually like? I looked it up, and I found some threads that essentially said, game can be fun, but it's for more advanced tabletop players. And I'm like, okay, so definitely not my group. Like, there's one of our guys is definitely more advanced as far as being able to min-max systems, but me and the others, no, we're a bit more casual. One of us is actually entirely new to tabletop games entirely, so yeah, going to something like that seems like it might be a bit much. That's why I've thought about proposing the Ryutama game. There were other things at the store that caught my attention as well, but I decided to just stick with getting the game and the Pixie figure and the issues that I bought earlier, because frankly, I was like, I don't want to spend too much right now. Unless, I don't know, I managed to get one of the jobs I applied for. Because either of those jobs would be a massive boon in terms of new pay amounts. And also having a more... After spraying the demon coat with this water, its negative energy is repelled. What the hell did I just get? Where'd it go? Demon coat. Very good coat. Purged of its negative effects. Okay. If you value your life, do not enter the portal, which is further away. Well, I'll come back later then. So, there's that. A couple games actually released as well lately that has me excited. So, for those that don't remember, or that may not remember, a while back I looked at a game called Elementalis for Demo Day, and that's like a Zelda-style game where you control the elements with a little sprite friend, and you're essentially trying to save the world from imbalance on the elements. And I've been waiting for that game for so many fucking years, and I was thinking, like, how much longer am I gonna be waiting on this thing? But finally, we got an answer, that being, you know, during the last week or so of April, it came out, and so far it's been getting a lot of praise, which I'm really, really, really happy about, because that game shows a lot of promise of really providing that retro Zelda feel that I really dearly miss. Alright, I don't have enough. Okay, so they're really just making me fight all these guys almost at once. I mean, if you're gonna boss rush, at the very least, they let me get them all in one room as opposed to drawing it out like an old Devil May Cry game. There, bug down. Okay, and I think that's the golem. Where's the ghost? There you are. Piss off, ghost. Oh, ad break started. 3 minutes of ads, then an hour of no pre-rolls. BRB, everybody. And we're back. Thank you for your patience. All right, we are literally one hit away from dusting this guy. So, where are you? Where are you? Come over here. Come over here. There we go. No! Asshole, get over here. There we go. Okay. Where's the drop? There you are. Handle. So, something else that I had done yesterday was that because of some scheduling changes that I went through on, well, today, I had done my meal prep on Saturday, and I didn't really do anything fancy, just a Korean-style beef with rice and my usual egg bake. Pretty good. Oh, yeah, Combo, actually, I shared the recipe with him and he made it. Combo, what'd you think of it? Was it good? Because I tried a bite of the beef, and I thought it was good, but I didn't know, like, good recipe? Was that a good find? I guess I probably just go fight the bosses that I found over there. So let's go do that real quick. I used honey instead of brown sugar and it had a special caramelized tap. I did the exact same thing because, frankly, I can attest that I really would not want to have, like, brown sugar is a good recipe to have around if you're gonna be using the entire bag, or if you at least have a place where you can store the bag well enough, but the problem is it becomes a brick after a while, and it's never, ever packaged to be resealable. Ever. I have yet to find that shit. Like, it becomes a brick. Like, so no, I'm the same way. Instead of brown sugar, I opted to use some hot honey that I actually had in my pantry, because a little bit ago I bought some hot honey to have on pizza, so I use hot honey on that. And yeah, after I let the spices and oils and stuff simmer into the beef from cooking it, oh man, I think that really can help with giving it far more of a sweeter taste. But because I used hot honey and a bit of gochujang, it gave it a bit of zest too, which, as a guy that likes his food spicy, I really appreciate. So, yeah. I also have in mind a recipe I'm going to do for next week for meal prep, which is just going to be some tofu, crispy tofu, because I got some extra firm tofu from the store, and I'm going to be doing that with some cornstarch and spices to air fry it up with some carrots and maybe have some veggies on the side with it. So, yeah. That's the other thing that I did yesterday. It was literally meal prepped, went to Free Comic Book Day, and then after that it was my Pathfinder time. Because, you know, I wanted to get that done too. I know one other big announcement that happened that's got me a bit intrigued, but also I'm uncertain about it. So I mentioned Final Fantasy earlier. So Final Fantasy XIV, the very beloved MMORPG that's loved by many. I know some people that are in the sauce of that game. Gochujang in place of red flakes in the recipe. I had red flakes but didn't use them since my mom. Yeah. I used both. I used both gochujang and red pepper flakes because I'm a fucking freak. I'm a freak that tends to go for level 4 spice whenever I go to places for spice levels. So, what was I about to say? Oh, Final Fantasy XIV. So, FanFest happened, and if you don't know what FanFest is essentially the big event that is held for Final Fantasy XIV by the developers, and just kind of gives updates on the game as far as, like, what's new that's going to be added into the game, the next expansion, changes to things like character creation and other things like that. And oh god. And it's a nice event for people that play the game, and I know there's some people that straight up play that game like it's their second life. Not to, you know, not to be disparaging, like, if you enjoy the game, you enjoy the game. MMOs just in the past have never really been entirely my thing. But one big announcement that got me raising an eyebrow, going like, oh, that's pretty cool that they did. So, a well-known meme in the Final Fantasy community is that you have a free trial you can do up to a certain expansion and no limit on playtime. Which, you know, same kind of philosophy with a lot of the demos that I tend to play from Square Enix games that I like. So, what they had done for a new thing is now, right now, you can play up to Shadowbringers, which, according to what I've heard from people that play Final Fantasy XIV a lot, is that Shadowbringers is one of the best expansions that has ever graced that game, and ends up kind of being one of the best Final Fantasies that's been out ever. I can't really attest to that because, as I've said, the only Final Fantasies that I've ever played personally are a bit of the 4 remake, like the beginning areas or so of the 4 remake on the DS, 7 remake, and 16. Like, my history with Final Fantasy is spotty compared to my history with Dragon Quest. So, there's that. And but that's not to say I'm not interested in it. It's just, hold on, let me explain myself after I kill these guys. Broke my writing block. I mean, 2 songs this week. I saw, yeah, I really like your songs, Combo. So for those that may not know, Combo, my friend and mod, is a very, very talented composer. He's the composer for my Be Right Back theme that I use for my starting soon as well, and he's just really, really good. So, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and I think it's just exclamation point music that I have it. Yes, so if you're on Twitch, I just did the exclamation point music alert. There's his SoundCloud, his Blue Sky, and his Twitter. Please go check him out. He's great. So I saw that you put 2 new songs out. The Game On theme, genuinely great. I have not heard the other one you put out, but I plan on doing it. So, yeah, if y'all ever have the time, please go check out Combo stuff. He's great. So, with the FF14 thing, Shadowbringers, my apprehension about playing 14 is just, I already don't have a strong desire to play a whole lot of multiplayer stuff to begin with. Like, me and multiplayer games don't have the best history because of the people that I've played with before. And I also don't... I've heard that the 14 community can have its very volatile moments regarding, like, the culture around raiding, because, you know, apparently raids are necessary. Like, a lot of the raids are necessary at higher levels to even get further in the story, and that requires a lot of team coordination, and that can go south really quickly if if you just have a team that's either inexperienced or just one snafu can cause the entire thing to go. And I don't know, it just kind of makes me make a face going like, I don't know if I want to. Like, hearing about that, and also hearing that there's just some other communities in the game that can be a bit anal about how certain things are, and if you're having some things correctly versus others. And, you know, it's part of the reason why I never really participate in a community most of the time, or participate in fan bases of anything, because, as I've said before, fan bases can and have been the worst enemies of a piece of media. But for 14 in particular, because so much of that game is, you know, dependent on its community, I don't know. It just made me kind of say, I don't know about that. And if anything, I've been experiencing the story through a couple streamers that I watch. One being Volpixie, and the other being Girl DM. Girl DM, in particular, her playthrough's been very informative on... very detailed as far as her journey through it. She hasn't really done much of the side questing because she jokingly started the game because she really likes the character of Thancred, and calls it her whole journey the main Thancred quest, which I find really funny. But seeing how she had gone through that first parts of FF14 really made me go like, oh god, because notoriously the first part of that game is considered its worst element because it's a lot of back and forth, and apparently it was way worse before they had updated it to get rid of a lot of the Nothing Burger quests. But unfortunately, there's no getting rid of every Nothing Burger quest in that game, and
don't be a stranger.
That's made me kind of think like, oh, is it even worth it? Because if I'm gonna be going through Nothing Burger quests that are that bad and that invasive, it literally is just like side questing that feels like main quest stuff. It's like whenever you have to collect 100% of something in order to gain the final ending. You know, the thing in Sea of Stars that I didn't like so much. So that's made me go like, oh, do I want to go through this? But I keep hearing from everybody and their grandma saying like, you got it, like FF14's one of the best things out there. And I just keep like making like my squinting face going like, I'm not sure. So we'll see on that. That is a to be determined if I ever start it. If I start it, I'm probably not going to make it a stream thing because I've seen that people like censor the chats in 14 and also, oh, I can't attack you. Okay, you're just a stage hazard. And also, you know, try to really make sure they have chats be behaving during it because people will also choose to spoil. And that's just something that you encounter no matter the game. Like, people that choose to either backseat or spoil specific moments or have that thing where it's like your friend is sharing a video with you and you want to see their they want to see your reaction to a particular part, but when you have more of a non-plus reaction, they get disappointed and then you feel bad because you didn't meet their wants. I'm kind of having that fear as well. So, yeah. Because other than that, it just sounds like, oh, everything around the game sounds really cool. But the other thing is that the MMO style of game, like the MMO style gameplay, that seems like just a hurdle for me as well because, as I said, I don't play MMOs ever, and a lot of that is far more auto battle-ish, if not like some level of active time with how you perform certain skills. I don't know. I've just heard a lot of horror stories about conduct in 14 regarding the community, and that's made me go like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. There we go. I did have a question about Hunter D. Was trying to understand the whole deal with the guy astral projecting and shooting lasers. Astral projecting and shooting. Oh! One of the brothers. Yeah. Okay, so Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, the movie, is based on the last story of the Omnibus. So I forget what the exact story it's called, but I know which guy you're talking about. So the way that powers work in Vampire Hunter D can be a bit arbitrary, I'll admit that. The brother that is laid in bed and has to astrally project himself is continuously dying. Like, he's facing a slow death, but as part of his slow death, he has the ability to astral project himself and have that fight for him, and he can shoot lasers doing that. And that means that he is considered one of the most valuable assets of those brothers, but unfortunately he's also the weakest because he's basically like the shriveled alien mummy that was memed on God knows how many years ago. Looks like he's having the time of his life when he does it. Oh yeah, like when he does it, he looks like he's in bliss, but you know, it's just a massive trade-off of his abilities. Everybody's got a trade-off in their abilities to some extent. Because a lot of it is still that classical Hammer horror, old like Bram Stoker style energy of like, oh yes, vampires weak against the sun, have very specified weaknesses, but they also are incredibly adept in literally every fashion. And they also bioengineered a bunch of old monsters and dinosaurs that roam the wasteland to try and keep humanity from hunting them to extinction. Because for those that don't know, Vampire Hunter D may look like it is gothic fantasy, and it is, but it's also post-apocalypse sci-fi future where nuclear fallout caused humanity to be really regressed, and, you know, it was a big disaster. Then vampires rise up from their old positions of being underground for so long, and they say, hey, humanity, we're now your new masters. We're going to engineer everything, and we're basically going to farm you for blood. They do that, but then humanity does its humanity thing, rises up again, but as a last-ditch effort of a middle finger to humanity, the vampires had bioengineered a bunch of classic monsters, as well as dinosaurs and God knows what else, and spread those throughout the frontier, I think is what they call the general world of Vampire Hunter D. And now you have people that are dressed in 18th century garb as they are shooting laser rifles, setting up gigantic laser force fields, and you have still people riding horse-drawn carriages, but the horses are cybernetic. It's got a bit of Trigun look as well, same director. No. I do agree that, yes, it does have semblances to Trigun in terms of how cobbled together its world feels at points. In a good way, mind you. Like, that kind of cobbled together ramshackle type of setting is really cool to see when it's done well. Like, I see that in Monster Hunter as well. But no, the director of Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust was the same person that directed Ninja Scroll and... what was his name again? Hold on, let me double check. Yoshiaki Kawajiri, that's what it was. I know it was Yoshiaki something. Wicked City, Ninja Scroll, Vampire Hunter D, Bloodlust. He was, at his time, considered one of the top action anime directors ever. Yeah, I saw Ninja Scroll a while back, too. I think in Demon Slayer 2 Inspiration. Yeah. Actually, speaking of action anime and fucking massive announcements, so y'all know I like to read manga, right? And one manga that I've been keeping up to the best of my extent is Kagurabachi. Kagurabachi got an anime announcement. It is confirmed to be happening next April. And the huge thing about that, besides the fact that the announcement's even happening, is that the director for this is the same guy that gave us the very, very, very famous Naruto fight between Rock Lee and Gaara. The director of that episode and fight scene is directing all of Kagurabachi. And what's crazier is that despite this guy's pedigree as a key animator, this is his first series that he's ever directing in full. Not an episode director, not a key animator or animation director, full-on directorial seat. And what's also awesome is that the person that created Kagurabachi had gone on to the comments of the announcement video and said, hey, y'all know the Naruto fight of Rock Lee versus Gaara? Yeah, this is the guy that guy's directing this entire series. So the creator knows his people. He knows us. He knows how excited we are at this being a thing. So I'm like, oh, because I like Kagurabachi, and seeing how that will evolve into animation will be a really, really, really awesome endeavor. Like, that's, God damn it, next April. Oh. And then there's Siren, which I still need to hear more about that. I need to look up news, but you know, Siren's getting her an anime this year. I just need to know when, because I know it said this year, but yeah. We did also get some confirmation about a potential release format for Steel Ball Run, which, relatedly, funnily enough, Steel Ball Run, I think, also has inspired how Kagurabachi is doing its release format, because the series in full will start airing in next April, but apparently the first episode is going to circulate around in worldwide premieres before the rest of the series gets aired. Now, that could be used to generate some hype, but I'm very scared that this may set a precedent for every high-profile anime, for it to go like, oh, let's make a big 1 hour, like either a big 1 hour or just a really big press-released episode to go around, and then we just get to sit on the rest of the series until we push the rest of it out at a later time. Frankly, I would rather we just wait till the series is out with its first episode than have a week-to-week format, but unfortunately, when one thing has a runaway success, everybody else is going to try to imitate it. It sucks. And you know what also sucks? So, y'all know my complete despising of the Paul brothers regarding their conduct and their content, as well as ruining card games for people. So, Logan Paul had apparently taken to Twitter and said that he has started One Piece. But, you know, the Pauls never do anything in half measures, God forbid. Instead, what this jackass has decided to do is get some rare editions of Shonen Jump, where the first, like, it was like some rare editions of One Piece in particular that he decided to get. And what this potentially sets a precedent for is that now copies of One Piece and most other manga are going to be hard to find now. Thankfully, I read mine online through a legitimate app, mind you. But it's like, fuck. Like, can this guy stop being a grifting douchebag for just 1 year? Like, I'm never, like... I was talking with my coworker, actually, a while ago about how truly despicable it is that card games are, like, trading card packs are getting limited at stores, and if not that, they're going to be completely cleaned off of the shelves because of scalpers and the kind of grifting scalp behavior that Logan Paul encouraged. And he's obviously not the only one. He's not the only one that started that, but unfortunately, he's one of the big ones that started it, and me and everybody else are like, fuck this guy. Like, fuck off. This guy doesn't care about One Piece. Ugh. Pissing me off. Alright, heal. Are we really truly in the final deal? Because I thought this map would be a lot larger. Because if this ends up being a 1 hour deal, then I'm gonna have to figure out something else to play. Hey, man.
You would come. I am the true master of this domain. Yvonne, the apostles, and all the others were just puppets that I enjoyed manipulating. It was by my power that the beast was created. After Yvonne's defeat, I intended to return to Hell to rest for a few thousand years. Your biggest mistake has been chasing me this far. After killing you, I will release thousands of beasts, and this world will be reduced to nothing. Die, brave knight.
Ooh. Cool design. I like it. Oh, God. Is there a phase 2? Because this guy's kind of fallen really quickly. There's a bunch of wolves in the background that I... Oh, hello. You're not gonna help? Okay, cool. Thank God for that extension of my jump. Please have a phase 2. I cannot have you die this easily. Please. Okay, you do have a face. Ugh! Oh, that's nasty! Ooh, I love him! Oh, you look so gross! Ooh! See, this is what I mean. Like, the bosses can be piss easy, but God, are they well designed? God, they're creepy and weird looking. Much higher health pool too, which is good. And I say good because, as I said, like, I did not want to fight this guy and have him die really easily. Trying to hit you with the awooga eyes? Yeah, he's trying to hit me with, like, cartoon dog panting rough awooga eyes. I'm gonna build up my orbs real quick. Okay, so y'all know the other thing that I want to let y'all know, I tend to do YouTube Shorts as my way of short form content because I do not want to use TikTok ever. And one thing that my algorithm for some reason decided to throw at me was breakdancing competition videos, which is very strange because I'm not a dancer, let alone a breakdancer. Like, for anybody that is, I admire your ability to control your body the way you can with those. But there was this one dude that I saw that was dressed in kind of like a 1940s sort of like mobster look, and his routine was really good, but it was too They're Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, and one of his parts in his routine was straight up him like doing the why I oughta with his arms like you would see in a Three Stooges Three Stooges skit. And it was just a genuinely good routine, but it was so funny to see this dude dressed in an old style suit, like complete with a hat and a red napkin in his jacket pocket, and he just is dancing really well to Kendrick Lamar. I just thought that was really funny. That's one of my favorites so far from the ones that I'd seen, but otherwise, most of my YouTube shorts tend to be like fishing and cooking. I don't tend to get a lot of like, oh, and also sword stuff. There's these guys called Sellsword Arts, I believe, or Sellsword Fencing that try to bring in some like energy into learning about historical sword play, as well as HEMA practicing. And it's cool to see this stuff. And it also helps inform that, you know, if you're gonna have swords, it's probably best that you don't get the kinds that are like super sharp, and unless you plan on doing cutting practice, because otherwise, you know, it's just gonna sit on your shelf and not do anything. There we go. Oh god. The modulators on his voice sound like he's farting, and I can't unhear it. I'm dead. Okay. So I guess the solution to that potentially being too easy was just throw a bunch of shit at me. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and gather some more orbs real quick. So yeah, basically a lot of things had gone down that had me intrigued, but I'm not really chomping at the bit for, at least not presently, because I've got enough going on right now. I've got a potential full-time job. I've got 2 potential full-time jobs lined up. One, I they said they'd be reviewing my application, so we're seeing how that goes. But the other, I should hope to hear from them soon, TM. And either will be really good because that would be far more day shift oriented, which means I could stream more, and I miss getting to talk to you guys during the week. So yeah, or to you all, and just shooting the shit. And it would also mean that whenever something huge does happen during the week, I'll actually remember to talk about it, because I know there was more that likely happened during the week that, I was gone, but fuck me if I can remember it, because I've been too tired from work and trying to remember to, cook food for myself and just trying to keep my apartment up, remember to pay my rent and bills. So yeah, I just think if I was able to get something that could let me stream more during the week, that'd be a nice thing for everybody, because I'd get to talk to you all more, we could chat, and when topics come up, they'll be fresh in my brain, instead of like an awkward thing of like, oh, you bought a bag of spinach you planned on using for a smoothie, but then you kind of forgot about the spinach due to other things, and now you've got a bag of rotten spinach in your fridge. Hyper specific, but that's what happens to some topics in my brain. Alright. After you've on, my posture got really fucked up. Seriously, look at my spine. Anyway, here's a bunch of my wolves in the background. They're having a really fun time with they're having a big furry con back there. Unfortunately, you can't get yourself a table in the artist alley. Probably spend this time actually building up the orbs for the final fight, instead of trying to use my abilities in the first phase, I think. Because this phase is piss easy. Yeah, it really is unfortunate how easy the bosses are here. Like, or not easy, but simple. Like, I've mentioned it before, but Metroidvanias tend to fall under two particular categories when it comes to their design. That being, they're either really good with the exploration and world design, but really simple and easy at points with the gameplay, and you end up becoming way too overpowered. Or the combat is exceptional, but the world design can be a bit lacking in comparison. And for a Metroidvania to excel at both, you have to like think, okay, do we have RPG elements? Because because part of the reason why I'm able to do so much damage right now is because I've leveled up so much. Yeah, it's just a balancing act. Wrong button to dash. Okay, that head can't be attacked. Just the goat head? Okay, good to know. I didn't know if it was just the goat head or if it was the others that I couldn't hit. I can't unhear that he sounds like he's farting. Oh god, that is so much damage. Okay. Is there any other equipment that I could have on right now? Increased attack, defense, luck. I don't really need any other. That's fine. We're not gonna need that, because the Rose Cross necklace was good for at least getting that final bit of the map, but we don't need it for this fight. Yeah. 80% resistance on all the status ailments that this guy's going to throw at me. I'll take that. Okay, and I don't need this on anymore, so what do I equip? Weapon special, charge attack. Honestly, increase the charge attack because that would mean more damage from that angel move that I keep doing. But something else that I did after tabletop was that I went to go see my parents just to check on my mom, see how she's doing. My mom's doing a lot better. So, for those that don't know, my mom had undergone a surgery on her spine to correct stiffness and misalignment problems that other means of treatment just would not be able to fix. So, she's currently staying at my parents' house now. She's finally out of the hospital after being in there for 5 weeks. And she is able to get up from certain places on her own and walk around with the help of a walker. And my parents actually have a temporary ramp, so now she'll be able to get into the house more easily than having to be carried all the time. So, yeah, my mom's doing better, and hopefully the recovery's on a smoother level, which I would really like for her because she's really been through it with, you know, her ability to walk being jeopardized the way it was. Because I could not imagine, well, actually I could imagine, because my ability to move got jeopardized badly at one point when I threw my back out, but for her it's way worse because it was straight up just inability to move her legs whatsoever. So, yeah. But she's doing better now, and she's able to get up and do some stuff. She still needs help with some things around the house. Or she still needs help like getting up from the hospital bed they got, but other than that, she's actually been doing a lot better, which I'm really grateful about. I am kind of sad though because when I got to my parents' house, the dogs were really happy to see me, but then they proceeded to kind of not get away, but like when they saw me, they were like, oh, it's the guy that's only here maybe once or twice or so a week, or every 2 weeks or something. And they just said hi to me and then left me alone. And I'm like, but I want more, but my puppies. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, it's a piss poor amount that you can do. Hold on. There we go. That's a good amount of damage. He's gonna throw up on me. Oh god, that's a lot of shit. That's... Heal up from that. Get over here. Shit. Fuck. No. So something else that I've still been seeing lately on Blue Sky is just a lot of the Tomodachi creations that people have done. And it really is fascinating to see just the level of detail that people have gotten with making either their friends or their OCs or just random characters for funsies. Like, the detail I've seen on some of these creations is insane. Okay, the beam hit him. Awesome. Cool. Oh, I can't do it. Uh-oh. Someone made a whole ass Animal Crossing map on there. I'd believe it. I mean, it's... As I said, it's really, really interesting to see that people just straight up terraform their entire islands like that. Heal up. Fucking ghosts. Oh, that missed. Shit. Heal up. Oh my god. There we go. Okay. With 8 health left. Is there a third phase?
That was amazing. You did it. You truly are a hero.
You did it. You freed us from the darkness. You truly are powerful.
You saved my brother and everyone else. Thank you, brave knight.
Okay, that was it. Okay, I thought this final area would be a lot longer. Hi.
I knew you could do it. You saved us. Now, let's get out of here.
The archdemon known as the Master was defeated by Matteo. He and Marie-Jeanne Vallée left the scene, which seemed to be crying out in throes of agony. The Mist Castle and its abandoned outhouse disappeared as if they had been a mirage. At the same time, the darkness that engulfed western Gévaudan began to fade, giving way to a radiant sun. The nightmare of the beast was finally over, and the people of Gévaudan were freed of their...
I'm playing Moon RPG recently. It's really interesting. Isn't that by Swery? Or no, not Swery. Was it Swery? It was from a dev that I'd heard of. I've heard about Moon, how it's like, you play as the monster witnessing the hero's atrocities.
He returned to the castle.
Love the Ilk, that's what it is.
Officially making him a knight. This was followed by a great celebration. If not for his great effort, the plague that started in Gévaudan would have spread throughout the entire kingdom and beyond. Matteo Lombardo went on to become the most prominent knight of the order. He was victorious against every enemy who ever dared to face him.
He had the greatest Magic the Gathering card.
Villagers in Paris noticed signs that had been left on the lamp poles which lined the streets. They read, "We vow to protect you from the greatest of evils, though you did not ask this of us. The thoughts attached to the real desire of the Seeker will lead us to him, and him to us."
One of my favorite things about the game is that you can go to a music store and buy all the albums for your CD player. Oh my god, really? That's crazy. Alright, well that was Chronicles of the Wolf. I thought that would maybe be a 2 or 3 hour endeavor. I didn't expect it to be just over 1. So my thoughts on this game are as follows. 1, for a game made in an engine from the 90s, holy shit, the ambition on here is insane. Like, very, very broad world, really cool stuff, really, really good job. Like, played great with some snags in mind. 1, as I said, the boss fights, after a certain point when you are leveled up the way that you are, is just really, really easy. Like, this game can get piss easy at points, and it feels a bit deflating when you just kind of plow through some bosses and just take their health down like crazy. It's like when I played through Symphony of the Night and brought the Alucard shield and defeated Dracula in like 4 seconds, because you can do that. And the other thing is that while I think the idea of using an old engine style is cool, unfortunately that kind of destroys a lot of the conveniences that are nice in a lot of modern Metroidvanias, like a map legend, some way of differentiating rooms that you've explored everything in versus others that you haven't. So, yeah, there's just some quality of life stuff that would have been nice to have, but I understand with the limitations of the engine here, they could only do so much. Like, the other thing is also adjusting the settings in the game as opposed to going to the main menu for it. Like, oh well. But in general, I would say that this was a really cool success and a really cool game. Honestly, I would recommend this as a Metroidvania if you're used to playing Metroidvanias. Like, if this would be... I would not recommend this to be somebody's first Metroidvania, if I'm going to be completely honest, because of some of the more retro choices that you make here, but... honestly, if you do want that, though, this is absolutely a game that's up your alley, especially since it gets that Castlevania feel down really nicely. You have unlocked extras. Okay. What are the extras? Sound test, cutscenes, boss rush. A boss rush. Okay. Interesting. Do I want to do the boss rush? I don't think I'm going to really get much else. And sound test, I'm guessing, is just all of the music. And I'm going to say this. Some of the music here has been some absolute bangers. Like that, holy fuck, that theme that plays when you go into the tailor's house, that was a slappingly good track. But some of the other music I found to be kind of forgettable. Like, I don't even remember the final boss track. It did not really latch onto my brain at all. Like, there are some good tracks here, do not mistake me, but not everything here really clicked, you know? Actually, there is one thing I want to do. If I could... Really, there's one room I missed here? Where? Alright, I don't really care. I'm gonna just test one final thing. There's a super boss that I can fight that I have yet to figure out how I'm supposed to fight her. Because the other unfortunate thing with this game is that due to its ways, I don't know how to fight Bloodless from Bloodstained because she's in this game. I want to fight her, but I don't know how. And I think I may give it a bit of time to try and figure it out, but if I can't, then, I don't know, I guess we just kind of ended at 2 hours. But for anybody in the comments that could tell me on YouTube, please let me know how you fight her, because I would like to try and fight her, either on or off stream. I just find it cool that she's even a cameo. Because I think you're supposed to gather something and then you fight her, but I don't know what. So I'm gonna try again on, you know, getting into the mansion, and because maybe it's like a post-game thing where you fight her post-game and then you do that, but I could be wrong. But also, yeah, buy albums in-game. Buy albums for... That's really crazy. Like, honestly, as I've said, one of the best ways that you can ever market your game is that you make your music pretty widely available, or at the very least make a couple of your songs available to stream, because that will get people hyped because they get to listen to your music and then they'll want to hear it in-game. Something that I imagine if Koichi Sugiyama heard, he'd probably, like, laugh in my face, but, you know, we don't talk about Koichi Sugiyama. Fuck that guy. And if you don't know who Koichi Sugiyama is, He is or he was rather, the composer for the Dragon Quest series, literally from entry 1 and every other game after. He was also a well-documented absolute asshole to, like, a well-documented asshole and just a general piece of shit. So, yeah, it wasn't just, like, his worldviews regarding LGBT stuff, as well as his politics, give him that really big piece of shit thing. And then added on top of that, he didn't believe in the idea of giving games an orchestrated soundtrack, because if, in his mind, if you gave players a orchestrated soundtrack, then they won't go to live orchestra productions of the game itself. So we, for the longest time, just hadn't really gotten orchestrated soundtracks in a lot of Dragon Quest games because this guy was like, no, don't do that, because then people won't go to my shows. And it's like, asshole, if people like your game enough, they're going to want to go see your music live. Like, think about the attendance rates that you tend to see for games like Nier. You know, there are like packed crowds that go to Pokemon orchestras. Like, what are you on? Ugh. Anyway, ad break in 5 minutes. Okay, I have to be here at night. Sorry, that just pisses me off. That, like, for what fucking...
Welcome to the Langonia Inn.
And as I said, there's like other things involving his politics and his worldview that are also informative of how much of a piece of shit he was, but if you want the full details, there's a video from Stop Skeletons from Fighting that I would 1000% recommend you do, because check out, because it's far better documented than, like, documented, researched, and articulate than I could ever be. Right.
Don't be shy. I'll drain.
What the hell do I do there? How about we sleep tonight and then we save so that I don't have to keep doing this?
Welcome to the Langonia Inn. Sweet dreams, monsieur.
There we go. Now I don't have to do that. But yeah, that's something, at least with some games, that have a in-game jukebox as well, that I really appreciate. Who's the cameo? You'll see. Her. She is Bloodless, a boss that you can fight in Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, as well as the sort of side 8-bit platformer. She's a vampire, and in Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, you fight her to gain the ability to drain blood from enemies to heal yourself. Here, she's a super boss, but I cannot figure out how to fight her for the life of me. Like, there's those 4 orbs above her, but that's the thing, she instantly kills you when you touch the ground. Like, I don't know how to really get to fight her. I don't know if it's tied to a thing I'm supposed to find, or if I get a particular ending. I got the best ending, but I don't think that really matters. So I'm really confused on how I'm supposed to fight her. Because I'd like to, because I want to see if she's harder than the final boss, which, I don't know, maybe they supercharged her or something. So I may have to do a little research right now, as far as how to do that. Okay, super boss location. That's just nope, that's a wiki on the game. That doesn't help me. Oh, apparently there's a bunch of super bosses. There's like 4. Okay. Oh. I see. So I have to fight all 4 other super bosses to fight her. Okay, we can actually do that instead. Okay, yeah, let's do that actually. Okay, so some of these are actually in the castle already. Yay, Steam forums. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me, Steam forums, as I play the PS5 version of this game. So in the Lake East, so east of the town, drop into the water and walk right. Okay, we're already near here, so let's go take care of that. Although actually the bosses, the ad break's gonna start in about 20 seconds, so yeah, I think that's the plan. We'll try for the super bosses to fight Bloodless and see how that goes. I don't know if we'll get anything cool, but at the very least it'll put a nice bow on this. So we're gonna go into 3 minutes of ads with an hour of no pre-rolls after, so get yourself hydrated, stretch, do whatever you need to do, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so let's go fight a lake boss. Oh, this guy. Okay, you heard actually.
This will fix you up. Process of regeneration.
Okay, they track me. Good to know.
This will fix you up. This will fix you up.
Okay, you hurt way more than I thought you would. Okay, am I really missing stuff right now? Some weapons I'm missing, but I think those would just be from the castle. And some armor. And like 3 things. Helmets and 2 necklaces. I don't know how much my equipment change-arounds would actually, you know, matter. You know what? I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that because I'm gonna change to the guy that can give me more iframes, because I think that for this fight is more valuable than healing continuously. Because getting hit less would probably be better than recovering from hits that I take that will be continuous. So we're gonna do that.
Beam of invincibility. Fear nothing, brave knight. No enemy shall touch you.
Oh, I should have bought some more potions before I went in here.
No enemy shall touch you.
Okay. Well, that reminded me to at least buy more potions to start, so that's gonna be something I'll do real quick.
Welcome to the Langonia Inn. I'll keep a bed ready for you.
It's a pleasure to see you. Don't be a stranger.
There we go. And then there's basically a couple other bosses to fight, and then there's Bloodless. Although if this guy's giving me this much problems, then maybe I'm gonna have to keep this in mind. Hey man.
Beam of invincibility.
Okay, I'm too close.
No enemy shall touch you.
I accidentally changed things. Oops. What was the button for super again? Okay, it was up and circle. Okay, we're gonna try that. Or up and right face button, rather, because, as I said, I'm playing the PS5 version.
Theme of invincibility.
Good lord, okay. I forgot to buy the potions. Fuck, okay. Yeah. That does a lot of damage, though. So I'm just gonna remember to buy the potions, save again, and then we'll be good. Alright.
Let me know what you'd like. Be blessed, warrior.
I do like the portrait styles in this game, too. It's very much gives that sort of old CRT vibe. Like, if you had a CRT filter for this game as a setting, that would be really cool. But, as I said, that isn't really something I think you can do in this engine. Hell, I don't even know how you could try to get a CRT look in this game, period. And yeah, I don't know if changing my weapons would really help me at all. I'm gonna guess no. Because, frankly, like, there hasn't really been any kind of descriptor on weapons that has gone like... Actually, you know what? Maybe it'd be better if I went not for the guy that's closer to the end of this. So, one was a boss in the taxidermy area, so we're going to go there first. And again, the other tragic thing in this game, you cannot pet the cats. You just cannot pet the cats. Shaking my fucking head. There was the guy in the outhouse that said he didn't know what he was there for, but gave me this axe. Which kind of has me thinking maybe he's a boss or something, but I don't know. We'll have to... I don't know. Or it could have been just a dude feeling generous and gave me an axe. Or it might have been related to the game's lore or story. I wouldn't really know. Wait a second. It was... No, it was through that. Oops. Hey, man. Holy fuck! Okay. 980 damage. Nothing else matches the Rose Cross ring. Critical rate. Disable stuff. No, like, this is straight up like he two-shot me. Okay, well, I guess my complaints about the boss being easy just went out the window. What doesn't help is that I don't see any health points on this guy, so... yeah.
No enemy shall touch you.
Jesus Christ, okay.
No enemy shall touch you. No enemy shall touch you. Fear nothing, brave knight.
Oh my god. Okay. We fought a guy similar to the turtle in the final catacomb area. Can these guys drop some more orbs for me? Like, some. What'd you send me, Combo? Hold on. Yeah, I remember those. Combo just sent me an image that was referencing those. It was a big trend on Blue Sky where people would be photoshopping together thumbnails of babies making YouTube videos based on old things that parents do. I don't know if they still do them. But like, oh, where did she go? Like for peekaboo. And it was really funny. Kind of making fun of the very, like, reaction content style videos and making fun of modern thumbnails. Because let me tell y'all, I fucking despise modern YouTube thumbnails so much. That, and among a myriad of things, is something that I hate that Mr. Beast kind of started, was just making these thumbnails that look so much like a parody of what a thumbnail is. Like, unironically, a lot of modern thumbnails from some YouTubers look like spam mail. They look like something you'd encounter if you clicked open a spam email and that's just the banner image on it. It's that bad. How's my... yeah, I literally can't get any stronger either. Like, I could get to level 30, but that's really all I could do. Alright, well... the turtle... but what were the other ones again? Antechamber of Hell and... that's just it. Antechamber of Hell, Doppelganger. So I can try and go to Antechamber of Hell, which was, what, lower right area? It was like right there, so just below the teleport room. Okay. Well, we'll take a look. But if I have to fight the turtle first, I'll fight the turtle first. Here he is. Okay, you don't hurt as badly. You still hurt. Okay, that was not a smart move. Please stop raising your sword like a jackass. I did too late. Ow. Oh, come on.
Beam of invincibility. No enemy shall touch you.
Okay. I at least feel like I did better on that guy, so let's fight him first, and then we'll, see. Didn't mean to do that. We'll fight him first, and then we'll see about the others. Because I don't know if gaining up to level 30 will help me at all, but it's worth a shot. Okay. Antechamber of Hell. Did I catch him in a loop? Hello? Ow. Okay, no. I was like, did I... Because he just kept spamming that one move. Is he taking pity on me?
This will fix you up.
Honestly, I don't need the invincibility guy if this guy's more easily dodgeable. He says immediately getting hit twice.
Roses of regeneration.
Ow.
This will fix you up. This will fix you up.
Ah, shit. Ow.
Roses of regeneration.
Hold on.
I'll heal you.
How much health does this guy have? Oh my god. Hold on. Heal up. Down every potion like it's a... Down every potion like it's, I don't know, kombucha or something. Okay. Holy shit.
I'll heal you.
Okay, now suddenly the lightning from his shield isn't happening. What the fuck? It's really weird.
This will fix you up. Roses of regeneration.
There he goes! Oh. That's one super boss down. How much experience did that give me? I don't see if it did or not. It did not. It did not do anything. Okay. So no experience from there. Did not done do that. Ugh. Well, that's one super boss down. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is go to the town and save, because that was a lot to go through, and I need to buy potions again. Honestly, though, like a health potion in this game tasting like a green apple... tasting like a green apple kombucha, oh, that actually would be really pleasant. I'm on the kombucha kick because I bought a couple of those while I was on my grocery run for dinner tonight. And dinner tonight, I kind of lazied out a bit. I had a bean and cheese quesadilla, just black beans and cheese. I was feeling especially lazy, did not want to do anything super fancy. Like,
Blessed, warrior.
just, I had some tortillas that I bought from Aldi, and then I have some Chihuahua cheese that I just threw some black beans on, then did that. Threw some hot sauce on there. There you go, there's dinner. Probably overdid it with the cheese because I didn't want to, like, I wanted to have a layer of melt so that the other tortilla stuck, but it is what it was. I felt really lazy on that, but I was like, fuck it, why not? Alright, so I may need to actually get more orbs for the super attacks, because now those are very vital for my big damage output. Oh, and now that I can walk on water... Oh, I like the detail of having another boat person over in the back. That's cool. Or a ferry person. Like a ferryman? Ferry person? Another person that's using the boats. I like that detail. It feels cool to see that. Yeah, I didn't think these would give me any things. Okay, I just need to find more orbs. Orbs and gold. Gold for the potions and orbs for the special moves. Just gonna comb through the map. Does this drop a big one? No. Okay. Worth a try. Wouldn't have expected the super boss located in the final area of the game to be the easiest one so far. Because it wasn't just that the damage output was not as atrocious, it was also because I had better maneuverability. Take care of this guy. And that's where the doppelganger is, but I'm not even touching that because that fucker two-shots me, so I'm saving him for last. The turtle is next. And then after it, I don't know how the hell I'm going to handle the doppelganger. Just going to have to play extra careful with my invincibility and super attacks. Actually, the very last area of the game has pretty good orb drops. So maybe I just go there and then just collect a shit ton of orbs. And I can save here as well, since this might also be a good experience area. Here we go. It's an easy way to get a bunch of orbs. Just collect a bunch of these and then we'll go fight the turtle. Yeah, how are y'all doing? How was your reaction to the Kagurabachi teaser that dropped? How do you feel about episode 1 airing this year, then the rest into next April? Because I understand that maybe it's... I would understand maybe if they just had production differences on how they're supposed to do it, but... I don't know. That just kind of tells me that maybe they just could have the series air sooner, but maybe they want to capitalize on the hype by having at least the first episode out, than just have more out at a later time. But that doesn't really sit well with me. That whole production process, it really doesn't. Because, like, what if the first episode for Kagurabachi comes out? It matches the hypes that's expected, exceeding at points. But then it just kind of stops being relevant because there's not much more besides the first episode for people to get excited for. Like, since the Steel Ball Run premiere from Netflix, I've seen more people get mad that there's no more Steel Ball Run than any fan art around Steel Ball Run. And even now, the hate around the idea of the release schedule is itself, like, not as prevalent as it was. I just think that release schedule idea was just very ill-informed. Also, like, am I missing upgrades or something? Because frankly, like, I don't know. Maybe they don't want me to use the super attack constantly. Alright, we're gonna go save, and then we'll go fight the turtle. Yeah, we already talked about that cat that we fought. Demon cat. Oh, that was a big critical attack.
No enemy shall touch you. No enemy shall touch you.
Ah, come on. That was a lot of damage to do. My movement's not as good in water. Alright, so that does work. Alright. Anything else I can do? Power Helm, increased charge. Rose Cross Ring, that's the best we've got. Legendary Boots, best we got. War Axe, best we got. Yeah. Here we go.
Beam of invincibility. Beam of invincibility.
Oh, it's not just the head that I can hit. Ah, good to know. Ah, come on. I move so slow.
Brave knight. Beam of invincibility.
Nope. You also have pretty low invincibility frames for that, too. Alright, well, now that I know where the rest of them are, I don't need that steam form anymore. I mean, I didn't use my ultimate attacks that entire time, so I don't know how much that would help me.
No enemy shall touch you.
Oh.
Beam of invincibility.
Away, demons.
That was a bad attempt. Yeah, that was a bad attempt. Yeah, if I can just... Problem is, there's also Doppelganger that's next, and I don't know how the fuck I'm supposed to fight that. Like, maybe if I just use the invincibility... Like, I could probably avoid the balls fine. It's just the random lasers that get me, so we'll try that.
Beam of invincibility. Beam of invincibility.
I have an idea.
Process of regeneration. This will fix you up. This will fix you up. Face annihilation.
Oh, okay. We did at least get some off. We got some pretty good hits there.
I'll heal you. Process of regeneration.
Focused in. Shit. What if? What if? What if? What if? We got, I think we can, I think so. I think we can. I stand corrected. I don't think we can. Problem is, I have like no iframes to recover from being hit that badly. I'm locked in, chat. Fuck. Shit. No. I don't want to use the full recovery because I might save that for Bloodless. Nope. Fuck. Okay, that was my best attempt yet on that, though. It's just sometimes with the movement in the water, those orbs can be just a nightmare to avoid because they're tracking. Like, sometimes they track really well, other times they aren't. And because there's no health bar, I have no frame of reference on how well I'm actually doing. Oh my god. Okay, that's funny. Some of the attacks aren't even hitting me in full. Okay, if I go up too high, then they start to track me more, like, dedicatedly. Like that. Oh god. Okay. Nope. I should have released it sooner. Okay. Well, that was worth a shot. And there's still the doppelganger. It's possible to just do the bob and weave and then super attack when I can. It's just... The issue is my inherent movement is really iffy because of the water, so... Yeah. It's like the water and the iframes. It's those two. So in that case... Wow, yeah, that was just a bad attempt. I don't know why I changed over. Because if I can dodge a majority of those attacks without many problems, yeah. I think the invincibility is going to be needed for the doppelganger, though. That's, like, that is no question. Because those attacks can two-shot me. High mind, that's actually pretty handy. The shit. All right, just kill me. Just that was bad. I can't jump high immediately after the balls come out because then they just track way too strongly. Sorry, I was just responding to a message. Okay. So... Because I don't have any stronger areas to get healing potions. I'm maxed out on orbs. I literally have nothing else I can do besides just try to dodge and weave. Alright, let's try this again. It's that kind of like, it's that kind of thing that's been getting me in this fight. It's just, I'll be in a falling trajectory and it'll be like just a bombardment dodgeball style. I'll just be getting whacked by balls repeatedly. Balls and beams. And sometimes these beams don't even hit me, so the hitboxes are a bit wonky here. Okay. That's one big hit I got in, but Because there's no health bar, I have no frame of reference for how far I am on this fight. Ah, shit.
This will fix you up.
This is the last one. God, hold on.
Away, demons.
That was another good attempt, but... And because of the nature of this game, I also don't know of any good strategies, because that's... Slightly... All statuses and slightly increases critical rate. Would increasing my critical rate even be a good idea for this? I doubt it. Vision is impaired, don't need that. Main weapon special attack. Strength of sub-weapon, breakable walls, don't need that anymore. Oh! I should have that on. I forgot I even had that. Okay. That should help now that I have more iframes. Wonderful. Also, ad break starting in about 4.5 minutes. Heads up. All right. Let's try this again. Now with more iframes. So I'll take a decrease on strength of the power attacks if it means that I can actually, you know, damage boost my way through some things. Can that be a cheat method? Yes. Do I care against a super boss? No. Actually, that's a question. Chat, have you ever gone through a boss fight where you had to do an exploit in order to be able to beat it because it just didn't seem possible otherwise? And I don't mean like, oh, you glitched the boss out. I mean like, you just used a thing that either makes the fight a hell of a lot easier for you, or you just knew something about the boss's patterns that you just were like, I'm sick of this and I'm ready to use this, you know? Because I had something like that with my much beloved Persona 5 Royal boss fight that prevents me from ever wanting to play that game in full for a second playthrough because of the bullshit mechanics in that fight. Like, seriously, I will not stop talking. You'll never not hear me say that. Yeah, I was cornered there. That's one boss fight that I'm never gonna not hate. Okay. Well, now that I know about the... Now that I remembered that I had this, slightly increases. It's not, yeah, the pendants aren't really affecting my stats other than my resistance to status ailments. And there's no status ailments from the turtle, so that's good to know. I wonder if getting the other armors, helmets, and pendants would help me in these fights. My guess is no, because they're meant to be this tough. Alright, well, I'm gonna save so I don't have to keep doing that again. There we go. But yeah, like, there's just some times where you realize, like, are there methods that make the game kind of piss easy at points for certain things? Yes, but otherwise it really would be up shit creek without a paddle. Like, in Dream Drop Distance, I think, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, there's a spell called Balloonra, and apparently that's considered like easy mode when you unlock that spell. Like that's considered you press button and win kind of mechanic. And I guess it's like frowned upon in certain circles, but apparently against the super boss it's kind of necessary. Or like, there's this fucking attack in Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, specifically the PS2 version of it, where it's like a time stop followed by 2 attack cards in that game that straight up, when you hit that attack, your enemy cannot hit you back. They just cannot because they're too busy getting hit stunned. And it sucks because it's a cool animation and everything, but you're seeing that ad fucking nauseum, and it's hilarious but also really, really sad. Oh, Dream Drop Distance. Neat idea for a card combat system, but it's a shame you let people break it in your PS2 version because of just one attack. I don't remember the Game Boy Advanced version has anything different to that, but oh well. Ah, shit. All right, well, ad breaks are about to start anyway, so we're going to go into 3 minutes of ads with an hour of no pre-rolls, so hydrate, stretch, do whatever you need to do, and we will be right back. All right, we're back, and unfortunately, I did just remember that I have an earlier shift at my job tomorrow, so I should probably try to wind down a tad more to get more sleep. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give this like a couple more attempts, and we'll see what goes on, but I don't think we're gonna get this, because frankly, these super bosses are tanks, and from what I had just read on some of the forums around this game, you have to grind a fuck ton on orbs and shit to even stand a chance. And apparently, you can even farm some of the other super bosses you fight to get materials you need. So I think this might be a wash. There's one other boss I learned about that is near the reception hall of the castle, so that's like... should be around there, I think. Just below the reception hall, it said. But I'm not gonna be heartbroken if we don't get all the super bosses, frankly, because it's a neat cameo from Bloodless, but I feel like, I don't know, like this is like final section of the game is like a sharp plateau. Thankfully, these aren't necessary for the best ending. I would have made a very, very... I went to the wrong area. Actually, no. No, I did go to the right area. Actually, the merchant's here too, so...
Nice things aren't cheap, my boy.
Yeah. So, there's a
I shall await your return.
rifle and a ring, and then I remember you equip this mask.
Did you bring lots of gold with you?
Strength of Aura Wave. I mean, it's here, may as well buy it.
Young blood.
Alright. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this Lamia boss a try, because that was the other name that I saw listed, but I'm not, as I said, like, I won't be heartbroken if we don't do it. I think I'm gonna just go to the 3-hour mark for this, because, again, I have a earlier shift and some changes happening in my job that I do not want to be groggy for. Hello. How much damage do you do? Okay, you hurt pretty badly. Okay, you hurt, actually. That snake vomit thing hurts. But thankfully the save point's right there, so we'll give this a few tries. Oh my god.
Fix you up. I'll heal you.
Ow, bitch. Okay.
Process of regeneration. I'll heal you.
Yeah, apparently, like, something I saw was that people could farm the Lamia because apparently they give random drops as well as large experience, and yeah, that doesn't speak to me like a super boss. That reads more like enemies that strong with no discernible health bar. But I don't know. We'll give this a try, but I'm not expecting to get all these bosses. I mean, I didn't even get all the bosses in the Thousand Year Door remake. I'd like to, because I really like that remake, and really I only have, I think, one super boss I need to do, but that was a post-game one. And apparently he's one of the hardest in the game. I don't know if he would be harder than Prince Mush, though, is the thing. So we'd have to see. I probably wouldn't stream it either, because it's just one... I wouldn't really dedicate an entire stream to one super boss, because depending on your luck, it could either be that you do really well and the boss is beaten within an hour, or you do really poorly and then 5 hours have passed and suddenly you can hear the boss's music in your head when you're sleeping. I will take Cursed over being poisoned. As I get poisoned immediately.
This will fix you up.
Ah, okay. The snakes are really distracting. Oh, whoops. Okay, so I could accidentally get myself into the next room there. And that may reset the enemy's health too. I see. Maybe it might also be that I just don't have the best sub-weapon for this, but... I don't know, this is a... Yeah, I think this might be just a thing that takes way too much time than I have to do on stream, frankly. Like, even if I was off stream, I don't tend to always go for super bosses or post-game content, because, you know, I got other games I want to play and stuff I want to do. So it's just, oh fuck, snakes. Yeah, this one's gonna be a doozy, because the poison hurts, the snakes hurt, they all do a fuck ton of damage anyway. Yeah, I think 3-hour mark is when I'll probably call it.
This will fix you up. Roses of regeneration. This will fix you up. Roses of regeneration.
Ow.
Roses of regeneration.
Have uncurse.
This will fix you up.
And we got poison anyway. Wonderful. All right. Yeah, so for on-land fights, at least with this, like this, I have better maneuverability, so I at least can navigate around the snakes easier, as opposed to the turtle, which is all underwater. So I'm like, yeah, y'all know my deal right now. That was a good attempt. That was a good one. All right. Go again. Actually. No, nope, shit attempt.
Regeneration.
Ow.
This will fix you up.
Can you stop vomiting snakes at me, please?
Fix you up.
Cool party trick, but really annoying. Oh my god.
I'll heal you.
All right.
I'll heal you. Face annihilation. This will fix you up.
Alright. Maybe have like a couple more attempts left in me. Alright, just starting it out the gate. Cool. Okay. Just trying to clear the floor out. Alright. This will be my last attempt this will be my last attempt of the night. I don't know. I fumbled that word. Okay. Why did I jump? That was a stupid move. Why did I jump on that there poison? I shouldn't have jumped on that there poison. Why did I do that? Literally, if I just stay close, I don't get hit or poisoned. Ow. Oops. I'll be glad if I can get 2 super bosses under my belt tonight. Alright, there we go. Well, I can't do the... Shit. Oh. That was my best attempt yet, but she starts vomiting the snakes, and then that's when it all goes downhill. Fuck it, one more. Just one more. I've got a pattern down. It's just the snakes are the hardest thing to navigate on that front. Maybe I have the wrong... If I had a different sub-weapon, then maybe... I probably don't need to heal after every attack either. Just probably when my health gets down to half. Like there. I did not mean to do that. Nope. Okay. One more. Just, I promise this will be the last one, because I do want to wind down with my thoughts on this game, and I've got to, you know, be prepared to sleep. The problem is the snakes do about as much damage as their tail attacks, which makes it really hard to
This will fix you up.
plan around that.
Face annihilation.
Regeneration. I'll heal you. I'll heal you.
Yeah. Alright, I'm done. Once the snakes go out, it's basically game over because I'm distracted because the snakes do a fuck ton of damage. The snakes do a shit ton of damage, and then they're crawling around the floor all the time, and they curse me, and then it's on top of her attacks as well, so I think I just have the wrong sub-weapon for that. So, super bosses I'd have to tackle in my own time, which I don't know when I can, but that, I guess, will be the closing chapter of Chronicles of the Wolf. So, yeah, we beat the game faster than I thought we would. I thought that final area would take 2 hours at minimum, but I guess I was wrong. So I stand by what I say. Generally a pretty good game. I really like it. There are just some things that, unfortunately, with quality of life improvements in other Metroidvanias, there were some parts in this game that I found a bit head-scratching, and some of the bosses, like a lot of the bosses in this game can get easy. Those super bosses are for like if you know how to exploit the systems, which I don't. And I don't really have the time to do that right now, so we at least got one, which I'm pleased about. But yeah, that's basically going to be it for this one. So yeah, that's kind of my review. Good game, just due to the restrictions of the engine that they used, it unfortunately does have some design choices, or at the very least some lacks of things that I would have really liked, like a map legend or a distinguishing way to tell what areas you've completed versus ones you haven't. Again, I call that just me being biased towards modern Metroid, a lot more like recent Metroidvanias in terms of their design. It's just how I am with that. So yeah, you can't help that. But for what this game does, it's very, very impressive and very, very well made. And I would recommend, if you are craving a more retro experience that might challenge your thoughts on your analysis on exploration and your ability to exploit systems to get the most damage possible onto a super boss, this for certain would be one I'd recommend, because it really does give that old energy of Symphony of the Night while also doing its own thing. It just has unfortunate problems of being an RPG system, so therefore the combat becomes near trivial towards the end when you are like level 29 and I damn near steamrolled the final boss if it wasn't just for the amount of attacks it threw. Because it feels like the solution done for some of these harder fights is that they just throw a lot of attacks at you or make the attacks do a fuck ton of damage. Like, that's the thing that I feel is kind of the problem, is that this game's boss designs are either like piss easy or make number go up, therefore harder. So yeah, but still a good game. Would recommend that you all give this a try. Find the other endings, because apparently there's more. There's an ending for I think if you join the Beast or the Apostles or something, if you join with Yvonne, there's an ending if you kill the Beast but don't get all the Apostle seals. And I think that's it. I think it's just endings A, B, and C. I think those are all it. But I just wanted to go for ending A because I tend to try and go for the best endings in Metroidvanias if I can help it. But yeah, this was a good one. I would recommend you all give it a try. But as I said earlier, this would not be what I would recommend to people for their first Metroidvania. Like, if I were to recommend a Metroidvania to ever be somebody's first one, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, I would still say is a perfect one, because it's just solidly designed, has a lot of elements about it that make it a very accessible game, and also there are elements about it that make it a good, smooth experience for some, but still leaving enough wiggle room for people to figure things out on their own. Otherwise, I would also recommend Ender Lilies and Ender Magnolia, because they have some of the more nice modern additions of map that shows what rooms are completed versus what ones aren't, and they are extremely well controlling. Like the controls in those games are butter smooth, and in general, those are just really well designed Metroidvanias that I'd recommend. So Ender Lilies and Ender Magnolia, I streamed both. Did I stream both? I think I streamed. No, I know I did Magnolia. Did I do Lilies? I don't think I did. I don't remember if I did or not. If I did, it might have been before I was recording my VODs for YouTube. I don't remember. In any case, yeah, that's basically all I've got to say. Is good Metroidvania, wouldn't recommend it as a first one. This would probably be like if you've played enough of them to get an idea of their design, especially a lot more retro ones. Like if you've got some of the older Metroid ones under your belt. Okay, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else to say? No, that's kind of it. So, yeah, sorry for the bit of an anticlimactic ending. We got one super boss, so that's good. But, yeah, those other ones, they would just take way too much time that I have to dedicate to it. But, still a good game, still would recommend. So, for those watching on the VOD side of things, thanks for coming by and watching to the end. For the next stream that I want to plan for kind of retro-y style games, I'll be sure to let you all know over on my Blue Sky, so follow me in my socials to see when I'm going live next. And that's kind of it. I usually post it on there and on the YouTube community page. I don't really use Tumblr anymore. Like, I'm barely ever on there, but I have it if you want to go follow me there. And yeah, that's kind of it. So for those on YouTube, thanks for coming by. Stay hydrated, keep your postures checked, and I'll see you next time. Bye.